Hi everyone, let's talk about the rational root theorem for polynomials. We're going to start off with a polynomial, f of x, which is equal to an x to the n plus an minus 1 x to the n minus 1 all the way through to a2x squared plus a1x plus a naught. And these coefficients, an minus 1 all the way through to a1, a naught, they're going to be integers. So this polynomial is in the ring of polynomials with integer coefficients. And we're going to say that an is not 0, so that we don't have the 0 polynomial. And we're also going to add that the constant term is not 0, but we're going to change this later. In the end, I'll show how to deal with the fact that a tail end of the coefficients might be 0. So here's what the theorem says. It says that if p over q is in the rational numbers, and the greatest common divisor of p and q is equal to 1, meaning p and q are coprime. That means they don't share any factors other than 1 and negative 1. Then p divides a naught and q divides an. So those are, a naught is the constant term, and an is, well, the constant coefficient, and an is the leading coefficient. And this is useful because an and a naught have a finite list of divisors, and they might be negative. So what this means is that you can iterate through all the positive and negative divisors of an and a naught and find all of these rational numbers, p over q, divisors of a naught divided by divisors of an, and that allows you to find all the rational roots, although not all of them will be rational roots. Some of them might be. There might be no rational roots at all, but at least you get an exhaustive method for finding any that do exist. So let's prove this. The idea is to plug in p over q, a root. P over q like this one, where p and q are coprime and p and q are integers. What we get when we plug it in is that 0 equals to f of p over q, and that equals an p over q to the power of n plus an minus 1 p over q to the power of n minus 1, and we keep going until we get a 1 times p over q plus a naught. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to clear the denominators by multiplying by p to the power of n, both sides. What we get is 0 equals to, not p to the power of n, but q to the power of n. So let me write a q over here, because q to the power of n is the biggest denominator. We get an p to the power of n plus an minus 1 p to the power of n minus 1 q, and we keep going until we get a1p q to the power of n minus 1 plus a naught q to the power of n. Now, notice two things. Most of these terms have both p and q in them, but this term doesn't have a q, and the last term doesn't have a p. And p and q both divide 0, which is on the other side. So if we take the first bunch of terms and we exclude the last term, we find that p divides all of them. And p divides 0 as well. That means p divides the last term as well, a naught q to the power of n. Similarly, if we take all the terms except the first term, we find that q divides all of them. That means q also divides an p to the power of n, which is the first term. This is the key insight. And now we're going to use something called Gauss's divisibility lemma, which, if you've heard of Euclid's lemma from prime numbers, this is a generalization of that. It says that if A divides BC and the GCD of AB equals to 1, then A divides C. So you can get rid of the B. So let's use that. We know that the GCD of PQ is equal to 1. So that tells us that the GCD of P and Q to the power of n equals to the GCD of P to the power of n, and Q is also equal to 1. So what we get from that is that P divides a naught and Q divides a n. So in essence, we can get rid of the Qn and the Pn, and we're left with this. So that proves the rational root theorem. I just want to show you what happens if we have a tail of 0 coefficients. So say f of x is equal to an x to the n plus an minus 1 x to the n minus 1 all the way through to a k plus 1 x to the k plus 1 plus a k x to the k, and after that they're all 0 coefficients. What we can do is we can factor out an x to the k, so we get an x to the n minus k plus an minus 1 x to the n minus 1 minus k, and we keep going until we have just ak. What we'll do is that we'll take the inside polynomial and we'll let it equal to g of x. So then f of x is equal to x to the k times g of x, and f of r equals to 0 for r not equal to 0, so r is a non-zero root of f if and only if g of r is 0. So all the non-zero roots of f are the roots of g, and all the roots of g are the non-zero roots of f. So we can translate between the two. So what that tells us is that we can apply the rational root theorem to ak. So if you know that there is a 0 root of f, you can factor out the greatest power of x that you can from f, and then just apply the rational root theorem to g with leading coefficient an and constant term ak. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.